Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to my broadcast, the Johnny Jet Rod Show. We're going to go ahead and get this thing started tonight. We're talking about the Second Amendment, gun ownership, and what the liberals are attempting to do again by taking away what they considered assault weapons. Now, I found this article, and we're going to post a link to the article and a copyright disclaimer so that I will not get a copyright infringement. This article is posted in Breitbart. The article is by, let's look down through here real quick. The article is by A.W.R. Hawkins. He's a Second Amendment columnist for Breitbart News and host of Bullets with A.W.R. Hawkins, a Breitbart News podcast. He's also a political analyst for Armed American Radio. A.W.R. Hawkins. Credit for the story. Credit for the article. Now, here's the thing. We're going to talk about Senator Kamala Harris, a Democrat from California. Last Thursday, she tweeted that it's past time to ban private ownership of assault weapons. Harris suggested that public safety is her motivation, which is strange when one considers that assault weapons are used so infrequently by criminals that the FBI reports nearly 3 times more people are stabbed to death than are killed with rifles of any kind and shotguns combined. Nearly 3 times more people are stabbed. Hope you got that. 3 times more. The FBI 2015 Uniform Code Report showed the number of people killed with rifles of any kind and shotguns in 2015 total approximately 548. Nearly 3 times that many, approximately 1,573, were stabbed or hacked. I'm supposing that would be with a knife or a hatchet or a axe or a machete or whatever. But yet it's 3 times as many. So we have to think about that. And don't miss the fact that the number of assault weapon related deaths would have been but a fraction of the 548 total deaths from rifles and shotguns combined. But Senator Harris is pushing an assault weapons ban for the benefit of public safety. Now let me ask you a question, America. Do you think that the entire constituents for Senator Kamala Harris suddenly wrote her a letter or contacted her by the phone or email stating that we need to immediately ban assault weapons for the name of public safety? And so do you think that's why she's speaking out about this right now? Do you think that's why she sent out a tweet that said, "It is long time past we renew the assault weapons ban in this country. It is in the best interest of keeping us all safe," at 6:18 p.m. on August 10th of 2017. Do you think that is the reason why Kamala Harris did that? I believe the answer is no. I believe that she's grandstanding. I believe that she's pushing a one world government UN agenda, an Agenda 21 agenda, an Agenda 2030 agenda, a liberal, extreme, far-left, anti-American, anti-Second Amendment, anti-freedom agenda. This woman should be considered an enemy of the state for this opinion she has. And since it is her opinion, and most likely not the opinion of every or the majority of her constituents suddenly calling her asking for an assault weapons ban, which that I will give you a 99 out of 100% chance that did not happen. That means that she is grandstanding. Let's remember, government officials, senators and congressmen alike, they work for the American people. They do not dictate to the American people what is best for the American people. What is best for the American people is what the American people decide is best for the American people. And they transfer that information that they believe that is best for the American people to the government, and the government attempts to implement it. So therefore, I think that Kamala Harris is grandstanding once again, seeking 15 minutes of fame, pushing her one world government anti-gun agenda. Listen to this. The United States had a federal assault bans weapon. The United States had a federal assault weapons ban from 1994 to 2004 without any noticeable impact on crime. Kamala Harris ignores this. Moreover, it is evident that the most Democrats who call for the re-implementation of such a ban, including Kamala Harris, don't even realize that the ban did not even ban assault weapons. Rather, it banned assault weapons with a certain cosmetic feature. It was all a ruse. Another example of the Democrats claiming that they did that which they did not. Even the New York Times, liberal, far left New York Times from liberal, far left New York, detected it, and dedicated this article and ran a column explaining that the very term assault weapons is a myth the Democrats created in the 1990s. And that is my opinion too. There is no such thing as an assault weapon unless it is held in the hands of a military member of the armed forces. And I'm a veteran. I know what it's like to fire an M16, an M60. I know what it's like to fire a 10-gauge shotgun. I know what it's like to fire assault weapons. I know what it's like to fire a 50 caliber, a saw. All these weapons I have fired, and I know what it's like. According to the New York Times, the United States was suffering from a spike in gun crime in the early 1990s, so Democrats created and banned an entire category of guns that had these certain cosmetic conditions. The ban listed from 1994 to 2004, and although crime fell during that time, a detailed study found no proof the decline was due to the ban. Zero proof due to this ban of certain cosmetic-looking assault weapons. Do you think that these weapons' certain cosmetic look was that it resembled a military weapon like the M16A2, the M16, or the M16A3, or those the like, or whatever? Do you think that's why? I believe so. Because they resemble a military weapon. The weapon of choice of the military infantry. M16. Now, they want to ban them in the name of what they considered assault weapons. Now, I would submit to you today that every American that hears this broadcast needs to stand up. If you are a supporter of the Second Amendment, I believe that right now is your prime opportunity to contact your congressman, your senator, and say that you denounce the statement that Kamala Harris stated. State your intentions to your lawmakers. Let them know how you feel in this situation. Stand up for your Second Amendment right. Continue to protect your gun rights. Because if we don't, they will disappear, America. They certainly will. They absolutely will. We have got to protect them. Remember, in Australia, what they did to the Australian people, they registered weapons first. Then they came through and did a mass confiscation. We've got to stop the people who are against the Second Amendment from taking any further action against our right to own and carry weapons that we consider are to our benefit, to protect us from enemies, foreign and domestic. Because you see, the government feels it is their right to tell us what we can and cannot do. They feel it is their duty and obligation to tell us what is beneficial for the American people, what is in our own safety, people like Kamala Harris. But I would submit to you tonight that if there was one thing the Second Amendment provides for the American people, it is the guarantee that you, as a gun owner, have the right to tell the government and the government officials and people like Kamala Harris that you know what is beneficial for the American people and that they will not tell you what you can and cannot do, what is beneficial for you, and what is in the name of your safety. Because that is why you own that rifle. That is why you carry that rifle. That is why we have our Second Amendment, to protect us from a tyrannical government who chooses and willfully infringes upon our rights, commits these horrendous and tremendously inflammatory statements and acts against our rights guaranteed to us under the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. I would submit and I would say to you tonight that now is the prime opportunity for you to speak out against people like Kamala Harris and stomp her agenda right where it stands. Because she doesn't have the right to tell you what is in your interest. Only you can tell her what is in your interest. Remember, the government works for you. The government works for you. You do not work for the government. You are not government property. The government works for you. And until more Americans begin to stand up and push that into people's brains and let them understand that it is our country, we're taking it back, they work for us. Until that time, as such, enough Americans can push that message forward, they will continue to attempt to stomp on our rights. People like Kamala Harris. So I hope you enjoyed this broadcast. I hope you enjoyed this information. I will post a link, like I said, to this particular article in Breitbart that I found in the description. You can read it for yourself. You can share it. Please share this podcast. Please share this information. Go ahead and connect to my support links if you want to become a supporter. Because this show cannot be possible without people like you who continue to support this channel to make this broadcast possible and the content possible. So I want to thank everybody for continuing to tune in, continuing to love this country, and continuing to be a part of the American freedom and liberty. My name is Johnny Jetrod. Thank you, America.